Dante's always getting told by his guide, you've got to just banish your cowardice. Or as one of my friends, Byron Katie, I don't know if you've ever heard of her.
She was just on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She said to me one time, you have to be a traitor to your suffering.
Ugh.
To betray your own sorrow, betray your own fear, and do exactly what you want in your heart.
That's so good. She's powerful. I remember in your book, I felt so much synchronicity because I had interviewed her, and I had done her work years ago, but I'd interviewed her and I was listening to your book, and you talk about this moment where you do the work about your experience of writing Leaving the Saints.
Yeah.
And that shift, I have to tell you, the flip that you did on something bad's going to happen to me, and it flipped to I'm going to happen to something bad. For people listening, that Martha was concerned that if she wrote that in writing this book, something bad would occur. And in the work by Byron Katie, you have to flip the thoughts you have. And that flip to I'm going to happen to something bad. And, you shared that you saw a vision of just all the young women, right? Is that right?
I didn't get a vision of young women. I was on a plane, and this was after I had gotten serious death threats. There were 2 detectives working to track them down. They weren't nothing. And I kept thinking something terrible is going to happen to me because I wrote that book and I did the Byron Katie work. And as you said, I flipped it to I'm going to happen to something terrible. And what happened then was that everywhere I went, I would see these young women. And one really powerful experience I had, because they were all so angry at me. And it was my family. And for a people pleaser to have everybody angry at you, it's really hard.
That's hell. That's hell.
Hell is when you're trying to please them,
actually. Oh, good point. Very good point.
It's just the hero saga when they hate you. But the one thing I really couldn't leave about my upbringing was the snow on the mountains in Utah. So I would go there to ski. The first time I went after that book came out, I was thinking, okay, I happened to something terrible. They're upset with me. And I had all my ski stuff on, my goggles, and I ran through the airport to a Starbucks because Mormons don't drink coffee. I thought, okay, I'm going to hide out in here. And I bought a coffee, and I handed my money to the barista, and she gave me back my money and grabbed my hand and said, thank you for writing that book. And I was like, wow. Okay, it was worth it all.
You're like, that's it.
Because here's the thing, integrity is contagious. We all know what exponential growth rates are now and how fast something can be communicated if it's contagious. And if you are willing to be really in your own truth, it's like Byron Katie. She just sits around being incredibly free, and people are sort of magnetically drawn to her. There is some power in the universe that is guiding us toward this and toward our teachers and toward the experiences that they're always happening for us, not to us. Everything. And it's all for that feeling of freedom and joy and homecoming you were talking about. Home.
That energetic, that's someone who lives and is constantly directing themselves towards home, to the North Star, that I think you just energetically become an imprint of that for someone else.
Yeah. I mean, you have mirror neurons in your brain that rearrange themselves to match the person across from you. And if they've done studies where they take 3 people who don't know each other, wire up their brains, put them in a room together. They don't say a thing. After 20 minutes, everyone will have the same brain waves as the calmest person in the room. Everything wants to join with peace. Everything in us wants to join with calm, except for the frightened stories we have and our ways of trying to please others. When you drop that, the Tao Te Ching also says, care about other people's opinions and you become their prisoner. When you walk out of that prison, you are immediately in this state of energy that doesn't just help you and heal you, but it also reaches out to other people. Everything wants that energy. Animals will come to you. I talk in the book about wild animals coming to me, especially when I'm really dropped into that feeling. It's magic. The world is freaking magic, Mark. It really, really is.